Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is part 2 of taking care of me. We have no disclosures. Karla's going to help me. Brittany also helps set up, and then the rest of the hospital dietitians will be here shortly. They had somewhere they had to run first. So today we're going to define healthy eating. We're going to differentiate between physical hunger and emotional hunger. We're going to incorporate healthy eating into your busy life. So that's what we're going to do today. So I started this off with a quote from a very wise man, the Dalai Lama. When asked what surprised him most about humanity, answered, man. Because he sacrifices his health in order to make money, then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health, and then he's so anxious about the future that he doesn't enjoy the present, the result being that he does not live in the present or the future. He lives as if he is never going to die and then dies never having really lived. Sound familiar? Y'all are in the middle of this somewhere, right? Okay. So last week we started off with a warning that we are going to exercise, eat right, and watch our alcohol intake. Therefore, we're going to be sober, cranky, and sore. But that's okay. You'll get used to it. We talked about burnout, how it's happening much sooner. It's happening much more often. Why you need to know that. That's why we're talking about taking care of yourself. The better you take care of yourself, the less likely you are to burn out. We talked about being skinny fat. So if all you do is diet to maintain your weight, you will be skinny fat. You're still at risk for metabolic syndrome because you still have all the visceral fat. You have to exercise also. And then we talked about different ways to incorporate exercise into your busy schedule, which some of y'all did very well yesterday with my lovely 13.5-pound backpack that is still going strong. I'm so excited. At the end of this, I'll pull one of the names out of the back pocket, and I have a surprise for the winner. So the more you wore the backpack, the more often your name is in there, the better. Do I?
Is it all the peanut butter pretzels?
No, it is not. You will have to fight Ella for those. You will have to fight Ella for those. Okay, so we talked about the unicorn, the mythical creature that it can't be tamed by man. And those of us with type A personality, the unicorn is a symbol for moderation. We do everything all or nothing. It's either black or white. Okay, zebras are black and white. Quit chasing zebras. I tell y'all that on the floor all the time. If it's a horse, it's a horse. Quit chasing zebras. So we're going to chase our unicorn, all different colors of the rainbow. Okay, did you find your unicorn last week? Have you figured out how to incorporate exercise into your busy life in moderation? Not all or nothing? Anybody? I see a few, and I see a, Okay. So, I also told my story, and I told my story so that you would know, been there, done that. You need help? Let me know, okay? And I used e-cards because last year the senior residents voted me most likely to have my own e-card. I have an e-card fetish. I'm sorry. I have thousands of them on my phone. You need an e-card for something? I have it. We talked about why it's important to exercise. Important to exercise. Because if you don't exercise, you'll get sick. Find time for one of them. We talked about the fact that you can't do it all. It has to be in moderation. We also talked about the fact that exercise is important. Fitness is 20%, but nutrition is about 80%. So what you put on the other end of your fork is very, very important. And it's also the hard part. So exercise is the easy part. Getting things right in the kitchen is the hard part. And antacid says that dieting is easy. It's like riding a bike, and the bike's on fire, and the ground's on fire, and everything is on fire because you're in hell. So dieting is hell. So how can we eat right without actually dieting, okay? Get the word diet out of your vocabulary. We are not dieting. This is not a phase. There is no end to this. This is the beginning, but there is no end. This should be something that you permanently do, at least 80% of the time. Okay, you can still have fun and splurge every once in a while, but at least 80% of the time, let's do this right. So I'm going to let Karla talk about the dietary stuff. I'll take that. just to make y'all happy.
Can't accuse us of not being good examples. So a picture says 1,000 words. If you look at our diets, the majority of our diets are from refined and processed foods. And in just a couple of slides, I'll tell you kind of the history of that and how we got to that. It's just another graph and this shows 63% of our American diet, and this is an average, is from processed food. So think about how this is different from the way that our grandparents ate. Their pie graph probably looked a whole lot different than it does now. Okay, so this is why America is so fat. And Marlene found this picture. Hundreds of billions of dollars are spent on advertising junk food and fast food. Think about the Super Bowl. How many commercials were there for fast food, for alcohol, and for junk food versus other things? Advertising is key, and they spend hundreds of billions of dollars on it. Despite an awareness of the increase of obesity in America, not only in adults but also in children, and that's a whole nother lecture, obesity, there's been no change. All of the hype in the media has not changed people's eating habits at all. So how did we get here? There are two ways that we got here. It's very simple. Americans eat too much and exercise too little. Is that a coincidence? Probably not. The media does not promote the stable recommendations of nutritionists, dietitians, and fitness professionals. Over the decades, they have had 3 things that have been stable. Eat less fat and junk, increase your intake of fruits and vegetables, and exercise regularly. Those really have not changed. But how often do you actually hear that in the media? How many infomercials have you ever seen that say those things? Not very many. The weight loss industry is absolutely huge, and it plays on phenomenal or miraculous or extraordinary results in no time and minimal effort. It's not surprising that 85% of weight loss customers are women. On average, there's 108 million people who are on diets in the United States. And they usually do about 4 or 5 things a year. Okay? I have to put in a plug for dietitians. How many fishermen do we have out here? Anybody fish? Okay. It's kind of the parable, if you give a man a fish, they eat for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you eat forever. It's the same thing with seeing a dietitian. I even have family members who will pay $60 a bottle for a weight loss pill, but they will not pay $60 an hour for 1 hour to go see a dietitian that will teach them how to eat right and have lasting changes. The average person buys, I don't even know the statistic as far as weight loss books or this diet or this membership to this or that. If they just spent that money on seeing a dietitian or in a gym membership that they actually use, it's kind of like teaching them how to fish, okay? But the media just wants the miracle things, and they don't really want to see the easy, simple solutions. So annual revenue is $20 billion. I don't know about y'all, but I knew it was big. I didn't know it was that big. That's pretty huge. And the average celebrity earns $500,000 to $3 million for promotion. So that's why you see those ex-football players doing Nutrisystem, because I guarantee you they don't really like to eat that food. That's why you see Marie doing that, and Jessica Simpson, and all of the things, because they get paid on average 33 grand per pound lost. I want to sign up for that. But they get, and it's sensational, and it's always, you know, a fix. It's always a quick fix, and it's easy and simple, and this is all you have to do. But it's really not that easy. Does the graph show expected profits or expected obesity rates? This is from a weight loss center, and I love it because it says both. Because those things, no matter how miraculous they promise, it may be a quick fix, and yes, you may lose it while you're doing, you know, this, but it doesn't change your lifestyle and your habits and your eating habits. It's not going to last. And most people who yo-yo diet end up gaining back more than they lost, and then they're back to square one with even more weight. And this, Marlene and I are both from South Louisiana, so this was near and dear to our heart. And yes, we still eat boudin and crackling. We just eat it in moderation. So how do we fix the problem? Exercise is extremely important, and it makes healthy living much easier to sustain, but it's more important that you make healthy food choices. Okay, so our brains are wired to our taste buds, and it's just pure biology, that when we eat sugar, it is a pleasure zone for us. We get pleasure from eating sugar. In fact, they've done scans on people who have eaten sugar, and it lights up the same pleasure zones as crack, cocaine, heroin, and other drugs and alcohol. Okay? So there's a reason why we like sugar. But to get a little nutrition nerdy here for a second, just look at the history of processed food and how we got where we are. Okay? It all started with World War II, and the soldiers were obviously overseas, and they needed stable and mobile food to be able to send to our soldiers. And so that is when Spam was created, shoulders of pork and ham, and all of the foods, they needed to preserve them enough to where they could ship them to our soldiers. And it worked out perfectly. They had, food to be able to eat, and it was mobile. The other thing that changed with World War II is the women went to work, and that's where we get Rosie here on the picture. And so that created a need for convenience food, especially when the war was over and they came back, and so now you had a dual earning family. And so no longer was the wife or the mother home to be able to cook all day and prepare things from scratch. So then they started coming out with frozen meals and the Betty Crocker cake mixes and pies and things like that. And in fact, I'm sorry, can I go back there? Okay. So the food industry development just absolutely skyrocketed because now they have this whole new market. And also, this is when the microwave came into work, because during the war, they used microwaves to detect enemy ships and enemy planes, and a man had a chocolate bar in his pocket. And when he was around the microwave waves, it melted the chocolate. And so he figured that you could cook food that way. So it took a couple years, but then it ended up being small enough to where you can put it in the kitchen of the American household. So voila, now you have, not only do you not have to use an oven, you can use a microwave, and you can have your cake or your good home-cooked meal and eat it too. So it really was the American dream. It was having it all. It was being able to have a career and still be able to provide food for your family. Now, the problem is that big food companies ended up they got pretty smart from a business standpoint, and they used this Monell Chemical Synthesis Center, and they basically have these really smart scientists that decipher the mechanism of taste, smell, and all the complex psychology that goes with our love for food. And ironically, half of their money is from taxpayer money. The rest of it is funded by big food companies. And almost all the big food companies have used them at some point or another when they are developing their food. Now, the other thing is when Eisenhower signed the bill for the interstate system, all of a sudden now people were traveling for much longer. And so guess what? That created the need for fast food. So that is where we get our McDonald's and all of our fast food industry. Okay, and this is actually an ad from the 1960s. It says, "You think a lemon cream pie this good would take a whole lot of work." It did. Thank goodness for Banquet frozen foods. And that's just the epitome of how our processed foods started. And if you can just Google 1960s diet ads or nutrition ads or food ads, and they have tons and tons of them that will come up. It's pretty entertaining. Okay, so having learned all of these things about food, these researchers, they learned that you can, they don't want you just to sell food to you, they want you to actually crave it, okay? Because they are competing for two things, for shelf space, because the grocery store can only hold so many products, and they are also competing for stomach share. And that is that you are only gonna buy so many pounds of food per year. Well, they want their product to be in your poundage. No pun intended. And so this really genius man, Howard Moskowitz, has a PhD in experimental psychology, and before that his background was mathematics. And he created what they termed the bliss point for food. And that is the precise amount of sweetness, no more, no less, that will make a food and drink the most enjoyable possible. And they have done decades of research to try and figure this out. To get the bliss point, like you know how Dr. Pepper has 21 flavors? That's the guy that did it. I mean, all the food companies have used him to make all the different things to make it the most desirable product possible so that they can get shelf space and your stomach share. Now, the U.S. Army went to this guy and said, we want you to create meals ready to eat, which is our MREs, okay? And the problem in the field was that when they were eating the MREs, the soldiers, the longer they were in the field, the less they ate. So the more muscle they lost, the more muscle the Army lost, okay, the less powerful they were. So they went to him and said, how can you make these the most to where they will eat more and more of them? So he did all this research, and he figured out that there is actually a way that you can peak the food to where it will not overwhelm one of the taste buds, because it's called sensory specific satiety. And so that is if you have, like, if you've ever eaten something really rich and you're like, oh, I just can't eat any more of that, like enough already, I've had enough. Well, this is, it doesn't want your body or your brain to get to that point. So you eat more and more and more of it, okay? So that was phenomenal for our soldiers because they ate more. Not so great when the food industry took that and tried to get us to eat more. And so they have actually reworked the processed food throughout the years to have the ultimate sugar, fat, and salt ratio to where we will crave and want that food. And it's almost like the Lay's potato chips, you can't just eat one, or like y'all were saying, those peanut butter pretzel things, you can't just eat one. That is because it has been manipulated to do that. So I don't know about y'all, but I thought that was just a really interesting way to look at our processed food and how we got from where our grandparents were to where we are now. It originally had great intentions, and then of course it's just gotten to where it's actually harmful to us. Okay, so stop eating crap. Carbonated drinks, refined sugars, artificial food, and processed food. And the easiest way to do that is when you shop the grocery store, shop the outer perimeter. Okay, just an easy way to do it. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and hand this over to Marlene to finish out the rest.
Mike. Okay, so even our children have figured out that we're eating way too much junk. On their math test, Bob has diabetes. That's about all Bob has. Okay, so let's talk about portion control. And here are some things that you can do to actually control your portions. Basically what that means is you don't sit down and just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. You need to control it. You need to control how much you eat at one time. So we're going to talk about portion sizes. We're going to talk about sitting down to eat. We're going to talk about mindless eating, which eating while you're not sitting down is actually a type of mindless eating. And then you need to know your red light foods and have a plan to resist. So I told y'all, been there, done that. Red light foods is actually a Weight Watchers term, and it is the food that you cannot resist. If it is in front of you, you are going to eat it. Those are your red light foods. You need to know what they are, and you need to have a plan for them. My plan is, don't bring that stuff in my house. That's my plan. So start with portion sizes, okay? You can have one slice of pizza. That's not really very realistic. That's not a normal size slice of pizza. So let's get a little more real here. This was actually my birthday dinner that my husband cooked. It's a regular 12-inch plate. It's probably about a 16-inch ribeye or 16-ounce ribeye. This is a stuffed mushroom, and I chose to eat half of the twice-baked potato just because I had all the steak on my plate, and I'd rather eat that than potatoes, okay? So that was great. It's actually fairly healthy food choices, but the portion sizes are wrong. So I had leftovers for lunch the next day. Do y'all see the difference? Half of this plate is covered with vegetables, and then I've got my grain here and then the meat here. So a real normal size portion of meat is the size of a deck of cards or the size of the palm of your hand. Guys, that'll make some of y'all very happy that you're using your hand and not mine. So that's a normal portion for meat, okay? So both plates basically have the same thing on them, just one is much healthier than the other. And it's real food. And I'll show you, this is actually the green plate. I have these in my office, okay? So the other thing is you should really be eating off of plates this size, not plates this size. because everybody likes to serve themselves a full plate. Fill up the small plate. You should really be eating out of small dinner plates, not large dinner plates. Okay? So that's portion control. Now sit to eat. So this is what the team room table looks like on any given day. It's full of junk. How many of you walk in, scan the table, grab something, walk out the door, and eat it while you're walking down the hall? All of you. I've seen you all do it. Okay? That is actually a type of mindless eating. So when you go to a dinner party, there's always a table full of stuff, and everybody stands around the table eating while they talk. You're not paying attention to what you're eating. So here's the deal. Sit to eat. When you walk in the team room, if you want a bite of that brownie, that's fine, but sit down and eat it. If you don't have time to sit and eat that bite of brownie, then you don't need the brownie. Okay? All right. Who does this? Who opens the fridge and eats while they're bringing stuff out? Sit down to eat. You don't pay attention to this. All this is mindless eating. Here's the dinner party again. They're actually making food. So when you cook, don't eat while you're cooking. All of that counts. The Weight Watchers term for that is BLTs, bites, licks, and taste. Every one of them counts in your caloric intake. Okay, so every bite, every lick of the batter spoon, every taste of whatever creamy sauce you're cooking, they all count. But if you're actually going to sit and count calories, you forget to include those. So you end up overeating. Okay, so sit down to eat. It helps you not overeat. Mindless eating. Dr. Reagan used this when she talked about the effects of media on kids. Okay? Google has the same pictures everywhere. So this kid has no clue what's actually going in his mouth. He doesn't care. He's paying attention to the TV. This guy's going to be a little surprised when he takes the first bite of his cereal because he's more interested in the newspaper than what he's doing. And then the big one for a lot of us is this one. Who eats while they're driving? Do you ever eat anything healthy while you're driving? Or is it what you got out of the drive-thru? So here's the other problem with this. Not only is this mindless eating, this is distracted driving. Not safe. So it's not healthy and it's not safe for you or anyone else on the road. Okay, so red light foods. Here's my red light food, chocolate covered donuts. Here is what I did to remind myself not to eat these chocolate covered donuts. Every one of these donuts is the equivalent of 130 burpees, and if you don't know what a burpee is, God love you, because I'm not showing you today. I did some this morning. Or a 53-minute walk. Who has time to go walk for an hour after they eat a friggin' donut? I don't have time for that. Or jump rope and jumping jacks for 15 minutes. Can you do jump rope or jumping jacks for 15 minutes straight? I can do about 2 or 3 and I'm toast. Or weightlifting for 42 minutes. And that's not lift a weight, wait 20 minutes and then lift something else. It's 42 minutes of straight weightlifting, okay? So that's what I did to deter myself from chocolate donuts. I still have one every once in a while, but that's okay. It happens. So shifting gears a little bit. That's one of my favorite e-cards absolutely ever. And so that kid is hangry. And y'all all know I tell you to eat lunch because I believe in eating lunch because I get hangry. My kids know I get hangry. I come home at 3:30 and they're like, Mom, did you have a nice day? Yes, baby, I'm fine. Are you hungry, Mom? No, I'm not hungry. Okay, so can I talk to you for a minute? Because they know when Mom's hungry, don't talk to her. Okay? So that takes me into, am I really hungry? Are you eating because you truly need to eat? Or are you eating for emotional reasons? Okay? If you truly are hungry and you really do need to eat, it should come on gradually. You should be able to postpone it for a little while. You should be satisfied with whatever anybody gives you. If you go, oh my God, I'm starving, and somebody says, well, here, I have a granola bar, and you go, no, I don't want that, then you're probably really not starving. Okay? You're probably upset or anxious or worried or just busy and you want to eat to be distracted. And also, once you're full, you can stop. Whereas if you get to the point that you're hangry or you're eating emotionally, you just eat uncontrollably. And then you're miserable when you're done. You should eat just enough, going back to portion control, just enough to where when you get up from the table, you can go for a brisk 20-minute walk. How often can you get up from eating dinner and go for a brisk 20-minute walk immediately? Or are you and you just want to lay in the recliner? Probably because y'all are tired too. And being tired is another part of emotional hunger. The weekends that I work nights are horrible. When I am tired, I stop at the donut store because I'm tired and there's just not much willpower there. It happens. Remember, 80-20. Eat good 80% of the time. And then you should be satisfied, not guilty when you're done. You should not berate yourself for having eaten the kolache and the regular donut and the chocolate-covered donut twist, which is the equivalent of 2 chocolate-covered donuts. Who's hungry for all that? Evidently, I was Sunday morning. But anyway, that would be emotional hunger. I had had a bad night. I was tired. I went to the donut store. It happens. So, this is the hardest thing for me. Food is fuel. It's not therapy. This is really, really hard for me. And I'm working on it. I'm getting there slowly but surely, but every once in a while, I just want comfort food. Okay? We all do. So, goes back to this one where food is the most abused anxiety drug and exercise is the most underutilized antidepressant. So probably what I should have done Sunday morning was went home, put on my tennis shoes, and went for a walk instead of going to the donut store. That probably would have made me feel a whole lot better. Okay? So back to the silly unicorn. This is actually kind of where it started. I want a magical unicorn for Christmas. Santa says, be realistic. So me as a mom says, I want 5 minutes to myself each day to have my coffee hot and pee in peace. So Santa says, what color unicorn would you like? If you're a mom, you know exactly what this is, okay? So Jessica said she wanted a pink unicorn. Karla's daughter actually owns a pink unicorn, so we decided we wanted a pink unicorn. That's why there's the pink polka dots across the front of the table. So here are 3 easy things you can do every day that, believe it or not, industry has put up here. Nike has actually put this up here. Drink 1 more glass of water, which, by the way, today is Thirsty Thursday. That is your challenge for today. It's to drink more water. Actually, it's to drink more sugar-free, non-carbonated, non-caffeinated, non-alcoholic beverages. So that basically leaves water. So that's your challenge for today. Take the stairs. We talked about that last week, and then eat something green. So we're going to talk about water and green. So channel your college keg stand days, but don't put beer in the glass, put water in the glass, okay? Drink water. You can do it. Drink like it's your job, okay? You should be going to the bathroom frequently. Your urine should be almost colorless. It should not be really, really dark. Drink water. I'm not going to tell you how much because I am not your physician and I don't want the nephrologist to start yelling at me because I tell you to drink too much or not enough. It's individual for each person, okay? Just drink enough. And this is also one of my favorites. During an interview, a half glass of water was set in front of me. I was asked, was I an optimist or a pessimist? So I drank the water and said I was a problem solver. So be a problem solver, okay? You have trouble drinking your water. These are 1 liter. Drink however many liters of these that you've got every day. Y'all think I walk around with my Big Bubba because it's got funny quotes on it, but my Big Bubba is 1 liter. My personal goal is to fill up an empty Big Bubba with water 4 times a day. That's my personal goal. But I sweat a whole lot when I work out in the morning. There's also the Camelbacks. They come in different measurements too. Those are easy to carry around. You can actually get those with a filter in them, so it doesn't matter what your water source is, it's filtered by the time it gets to your mouth. So this is what I did for my husband, who's a big guy, and I said 4 liters a day is your goal. I bought him this jug to take with him to work. It's a 2-liter jug. Fill it up in the morning when you get to work. By 9 o'clock it should be here. By 10 o'clock, 11, by noon it should be empty. Fill it up again. By 1, 2, 3, and 4. So by 4 o'clock every day he should have had his 2 liters. That's just something simple that you can do. It kind of reminds you, oh shoot, it's 11 o'clock and my water jug's only here. I need to chug a little bit to keep you on track. So that's one of the things that you can do. So eat something green. If you keep it in your fridge, you're more likely to eat it. Are you going to eat something green if it's not in your fridge? And I'm not talking about mold. Healthy, green stuff. Well, I will tell you, even my 10-year-old, if the fresh fruits and vegetables are in the fridge, she's going to eat them. Otherwise, she's going to the snack cabinet or the cookie jar, which does not have cookies in it. It has hard candies in it that I don't like. So, here's what happens when you buy fresh fruits and vegetables. Your bananas turn brown. You throw away all your fruits and vegetables 2 weeks later. So we're going to show you what to do with those so that you don't have this happen, okay? So here's Karla's refrigerator after we went shopping one day. We'll talk about shopping in a minute. Here's her fruits. They're all there. Here's the vegetables. As soon as you get home, prep them so that you can grab and go. Put them in the fridge. You're more likely to eat them if you can grab and go. If you actually have to open the bag, cut a piece off, wash it, chop it, peel it, and then eat it, you're not going to do it. Do all of that ahead of time. Okay? This is her protein dairy drawer. This is part of one of the humongous bags of cheese at Sam's. So we divided it up. There's about 5 or 6 slices in each bag. Put the rest in the freezer. Take them out 1 bag at a time. It's a little crumbly when it comes out of the freezer, but it tastes just fine. And you normally heat it up and melt it on whatever you're eating anyway. So that's how we do that. Strawberries, blueberries, whatever fruits you have, prep them so that they're ready to eat, ready to go. If you want snacks, you want something a little sweeter, you can actually make these and freeze them and take them out 1 at a time, not the whole thing. This is an apple that is cut up, it's sliced, it has almond butter and dark chocolate chips on top. So if you're someone that likes to actually eat while you're food prepping, one of these would be a great option. Make them when you get home and freeze them. Take it out and eat it while you're food prepping. At least you know what it is and you can keep track of it. This is another good sweet snack idea. This bowl has strawberries, blackberries, and blueberries in it. And the white stuff is vanilla Greek yogurt. It has protein in it. It's sweet. I love ice cream. Did I tell y'all that ice cream is one of my other red light foods? I love ice cream. But I found that if I'm hungry for ice cream or I'm craving ice cream, I can eat this and I'm good. And it's healthy and it's got protein in it, so then I'm not hungry later. So that's something else you can do, quick and easy. So all your green stuff should have colors in it. All your fruits and vegetables, it needs to be colorful. We're not going to do M&Ms. So here is where we found our unicorn in a jar. Okay? This is part of my lunch. This is a salad. When I dump this out and put it in this bowl, it's got crayon raisins, bacon bits, olives, walnuts, carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, spinach. It's got all kinds of good stuff in it. And it fills up this bowl. It's a great salad. And if I eat this first, I don't eat as much of whatever main dish I brought. Okay? And it's very colorful. So, here's Karla's refrigerator after we've made salads. Bring home all your salad stuff, okay? You can buy jars. These are pint jars. You can buy a case of jars at Walmart for less than $1 a jar. I'm not endorsing any brand or anything of the sort. They're just canning jars. You can get these for fairly cheap. So when we come home from the store and we've got lettuce and carrots and broccoli and cauliflower and olives and everything else that's in this jar, I'm not going to take all that out of the pantry and out of the refrigerator to make a salad every time I want a salad. That's why your vegetables go bad and you throw them away. So we open the jars and we dump everything in the jar. And so this is the end result. And this actually takes up less room than all of those packages of food. Okay? This is a jar of kiwi. Who likes kiwi? Who likes to peel a kiwi before you eat it? Who takes the time to do that? So we sit and we peel them all and throw them in a jar. And once they're in the jar, they stay good for about a week. Pop the jar open and eat one. Close it back. They last. This is my refrigerator. We've got salads for me, salads for my husband, and this picture's kind of dark. And then these are a bunch of small jars, and they have all the leftovers in them from what we didn't use for the salad. So there's one with bacon bits. There's one that has chopped purple onions. There's one that has lettuce. There's one that has olives. There's feta cheese. There's cran raisins. There's actually up here a jar of pesto, and this is a jar of tomato sauce. I didn't use the whole can, so I'll put it in the jar. It lasts for a long time. So those are different things that you can do. My cousin started doing this after she came to my house and saw these jars in my fridge and said, "What is this?" She actually puts pasta in hers, and this one has ham in it. She puts the dressing in the bottom. We don't. There's tons of different ways that you can do it. There are probably a million different blogs and websites on the internet. If you Google salad in a jar or meal in a jar, you'll find tons of different recipes. So there's a bunch of different things you can do. Prep, and then you're more likely to actually do this, okay? So, back to this plate. There was one day that I brought these two jars with me. This is an 8-ounce jar. This is a pint jar. This jar had oranges in it. I had peeled the oranges. So peeled orange slices in that jar. This jar had a salad in it. And when I dumped it out on my plate, that's what I had. It's pretty. It's colorful. It's fruits. It's vegetables. It's salad. And it's a whole lot. I mean, it filled up this plate. Okay? Pretty? Yes? No? And it was easy. This is what I brought to work. That's it, 2 jars, that's what I brought to work. And I dumped it out on the plate and had a healthy meal. So, let's talk about unicorns. We talked about a unicorn in a jar. Let's talk about a unicorn in a bag. We have found that Ziploc bags are our friend also. And this has to do with what do you do when your fruit's going bad in your fridge. So remember those brown bananas? They're turning brown. Peel them, break them in half, put them in a Ziploc bag, and put them in the freezer. Don't throw them away. Put them in the freezer. All the fruits and vegetables, what do you do with those? The blueberries, the strawberries, as they start going bad, put them in the freezer. They're much cheaper than buying this. So any of the fruits and vegetables that you have that are going bad, put them in the freezer. Okay? You get a Ziploc bag and you put fruit in it. We actually use some of the spinach from the salads. We put that in the bag. We also put a scoop of protein powder in it. And we like the strawberry protein powder. And so this is what you get. You get a whole bunch of these bags. You put them in your freezer. In the morning, pull it out of the freezer, dump it in the blender, top it off with water, hit go, and you have a smoothie. That's what's on the front table. So the smoothies on the front table have strawberry protein powder, strawberries, bananas, blueberries, and spinach in them. Who would have thought there was something green in those smoothies on the table? Okay? Are they all right? We like them. So that's what we do with the fruits and vegetables as they go bad. So now I told you what we do with them when we get them home. We put them in jars and make salads. I told you what we do when they go bad. We make smoothie packs out of them. Okay? So, feeling motivated? Yay, y'all were motivated to exercise. Y'all kept my backpack going. I'm so excited. Well, it doesn't last. And I feel like this most of the time. I feel like I don't need a personal trainer. I need somebody to walk behind me and just slap the donut out of my hand, okay? If you need someone to do that, let me know. I will gladly slap your hand as you reach for something on the team room table, and feel free to do the same to me, okay? Because I don't need to eat anything that's on that table either. All right. So this happens. I went to dinner with a friend of mine. We had a nice dinner. I didn't overeat. And of course, we saw turtle cheesecake on the menu for dessert. We decided to have cheesecake for dessert. It's fine. Don't beat yourself up. It's okay every once in a while. And the big thing you should notice is that this tiny little piece of cheesecake has 2 forks next to it. We shared it. Just enough to get the sweet, because Karla already told us this food has a bliss point. We'll never have enough of it. Okay, so 2 forks, we shared it. It's okay, in moderation. So just because you decide to have something else, don't think, oh my goodness, that's a setback, I ate something bad. It's just like you get 1 flat tire and you go slash the other 3. Or this one has to do with your iPhone. You drop it on the floor, it didn't break, so let me smash it till it breaks. It's the same thing. I ate a piece of brownie off the team room table. Darn, I ruined my day. I might as well just eat what I want the rest of the day. It's the same thing. Stop it, stop it, stop it. It's not all or nothing. There are many other colors in the rainbow. Okay? All right, so we talked about fruits and vegetables. We talked about salads. We talked about all the different fruits you can do. So what about real food? I know Brandon's sitting back there going, when do we get to the real food? Okay? So here's what we do. We team up with somebody who has similar taste. You meal prep on your days off. And then you use your crock pot and your freezer. They should be your friends. Okay? So Karla and I actually team shop. We take turns going to Sam's. This is my buggy at Sam's, which is a workout in itself. And I go once a month, she goes once a month. We alternate who goes. Whenever we get home, we prep everything. So we actually buy stuff in bulk and we split it. A lot of you can do that. Y'all can probably team up 2, 3, or 4 and team shop. Everybody goes to Sam's. Somebody goes to Sam's every other week. So you end up going to Sam's once every other month. When you get home, split all the stuff. So that's the other thing we do is we buy in bulk and we share. Here's a great example, Hillcrest Blueberry Farm. They've actually got a great sale on last year's blueberries. 30-pound case is actually 6 gallons of blueberries. So 6 or 12 of you could split a case. Call them. Tell them where you work. If we can actually get 2 or 3 cases, ask if they'll deliver to the hospital so that you don't have to drive out there. They might. It says that you have to pick up, but who knows? But that's another thing that we've done. Karla and I and the other lady that works out with us, we bought a case, split it in 3. So we each have 2 gallons of blueberries in our freezer. It's going to last forever. Not forever, but it's going to last a long time. Okay? So meal prep. One of the things that we have done is 2 or 3 or 4 of us, we pull recipes. We each pull like 2 recipes. We share the recipes with everybody. You go shopping for the supplies for the recipes that you like and you want to make. And then you all meet at one person's house. One person chops the vegetables, one person preps all the meat, and then somebody else sits there with Ziploc bags and starts putting all the ingredients in the bag. This works better if they're meals that can definitely be frozen or if they're crock pot meals. But this is what you end up with. I think this took us 3 or 4 hours one day. And so there's actually jars of homemade salsa here. These are chocolate chip peanut butter oatmeal bites that have yogurt in them instead of butter, and so they're fairly healthy. You freeze them, you take them out of the freezer one at a time, maybe two, not a whole bunch. And then there's a whole bunch of other meals here, and if it's something that goes in the crock pot, what we've learned is before we go to bed at night, take it out, put it in the sink. In the morning, it's still very cold and crunchy, but you can actually manipulate the ingredients in the bag. Dump it in the crock pot, hit on, go to work, and when you come home, your food is cooked. All these crock pot meals feed at least 6 or 10 or 12 people. So share. Whoever's on the short day, you cook, and then you share with the people that are on their long days. So there's different ways that you can do it. This is another one that we did, and this one has Greek turkey burgers down here, so you can take the patties out one at a time, just cook them in a pan, take them out frozen, put them in the pan frozen. They cook fairly quickly. There's actually stuffed bell pepper back here, and this is a pork roast with apples and bacon and brown sugar on it that goes in the oven. So, y'all hungry yet? And these are fairly healthy meal ideas. I have a binder at home that's full of these recipes. If y'all want to look through it, I've actually got them in a Dropbox on my computer or on my phone. So if you want to look at any of these recipes, if 3 or 4 or 5 of you want to team up and do this and you don't know where to get started, let me know. Go grocery shopping, come to my house. We will do this at my house. Karla and I will help you. I don't mind, as long as y'all help clean up afterwards. So, the point of all this is that it's healthy food, it's not diet food. I don't track, I don't count calories, I don't write anything down anymore. I just make better choices 80% of the time, okay? And the easiest for me is whenever I am not tired. So, you know what to do. You have tips from 2 busy working moms. We have 5 children between the 2 of us, 7 if you count our husbands. We have figured out how to make it, easier, okay? And you need to give yourself credit for every little step that you make. As you improve, as you do something right, give yourself credit. We're all type A personality in here, and it's really hard for us to give ourselves credit because this silly little inner critic does not let us give ourselves credit. You know what? Tell him to shut up. Give yourself credit. If you wore my backpack yesterday or today, give yourself credit. Yay, I did more than I've done in the past. That's awesome. Okay? So it's not can you, because I know you can. You can't unlearn any of this stuff. This stuff is there. You already know this stuff. So the question is, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? Because if it's important to you, you're going to find time. You only find time for the things that are important to you. And type A personality, we all have that addictive personality. Once you see that it's making a difference, it is addictive. You're going to keep doing it. So here's my challenge. Try it for 2 weeks. Try it for a month. It takes 28 days to develop a new habit. Try it for a month. Notice how you feel. Look at your skin. Is your skin more clear? Is it not so dry? Does it not break out so much? Do you still have headaches all the time? Are you sluggish? Do you have more energy? How do you feel? Try it. It makes a difference. Whenever I decide that I'm going to eat junk, oh, it's great right then and there. But then I have a headache later. I woke up Sunday afternoon after that kolache and the plain donut and the chocolate-covered twist. I woke up, and I also didn't drink enough water Saturday night while I was at work. I woke up Sunday afternoon, and I thought I had a hangover. My whole body hurt. I had a headache. I felt like I had cotton in my mouth, and it was absolutely horrible. And I did not have not one drop of alcohol, so that hangover feeling was not worth it at all. All right, you going crazy yet? This is about the only white coat you'll ever see me wear, and hopefully I never actually have one of these because I don't own one of the others either. Okay? So, overwhelmed? Take a deep breath. This is how you have success. See your goal. So what is your goal? Is it to feel better? Is it to have more energy? Is it to exercise more? What is your goal? Do you want to lose a few pounds? Do you want to gain a few pounds of muscle? Everybody has a different goal, but make it a very small, attainable goal. And then you have another goal, and then you have another one. So as you set your goals, what are the obstacles? Is the obstacle because you have nothing in your refrigerator and your only choice of stuff to eat is in the cafeteria? Figure out how to fix that. Be positive about it. Get rid of the self-doubt. Be positive. If you're positive about it, you can do it. Embrace the challenge. We all love a good challenge. We wouldn't be here if we didn't love a good challenge. Stay on track and show the world that you can do it. So that's what that's all about. So what do you do now? First thing I suggest is you find a partner to help with shopping and food prep. Okay? Figure out your schedules. Who's off this weekend? You go shopping, you prep the food, and share with everybody else that's working this weekend. When I woke up Saturday afternoon to come to work, there was grilled salmon in my refrigerator that Karla had cooked. When I woke up Sunday afternoon to come to work, there was spaghetti already cooked in my refrigerator that Karla had cooked. She knew I was working nights. She knows that when I work nights, it's hard. I usually come to work on a Saturday night with more food than I can eat because the interns always forget that the cafeteria is closed on Saturday nights. I fed Sam and Isami for 2 nights one weekend because they had nothing. And I had prepared. So that's the whole deal. Prepare and share, okay? Here's another actually fairly easy way to clean things up. Stop drinking your calories. Sit to eat. Don't eat while you're charting. Don't eat while you're reading something. Pay attention to what you're eating. Stop eating the processed foods. And on your day off or on your short day, spend a couple of hours food prepping because that 2 or 3 hours that you spend on your day off, you can eat well for 2 weeks. I mean, that's 2 or 3 hours in one day for 2 weeks worth of healthy eating. Is that worth it? Whereas if you come home every evening and have to fix something, that's 15 or 20 minutes. So personally, we think it's worth it. And then ask for help. If you're overwhelmed, don't know where to start, don't know how to do it, you have questions, ask for help. And also ask for reassurance. There's tons of times I'll text Karla and I'm like, doggone it, I passed the donut store and I really wanted to go and I just kept driving. And the response I get is, yay you, with a bunch of little party emoticons behind it, okay? I just needed somebody to pat me on the back because I knew I did the right thing even though it was hard. So here's all of us. When I look back on my life, I can see the pain I've endured, the mistakes I've made, and the hard times I've suffered. When I look in the mirror, I see how strong I've become, the lessons I've learned, and I'm proud of who I am. I could not have said this last sentence when I was sitting where you are. I was a mess. I was broken. And it kills me to see y'all doing the same things. Okay? And because Thursdays are useless, I'm done, but don't go.